Hello, everyone. Welcome to a music reaction this time. Uh, it's this gonna be the most meta thing I've done in a while. So just strap in your boots and let's get into it.
All right. Yeah, you should have seen this coming. You should have seen this coming a long time ago. We're going to we're gonna talk about react to my music just to get it out there. So the one I've chosen that has the most streams I've ever on any song I've ever had in my entire life is Hey Apple. Hey Apple has over 10,500 streams on Spotify, 4,500 streams last time I checked on YouTube. So let's just listen and talk about it.
Hey, Apple, what? Knife, huh?
All right, to start off, everyone knows where the "Hey Apple, what knife" comes from. But I found this thing on TikTok that had, or not TikTok, on Instagram that had this, and I decided to use it as my sample. And I had someone on Instagram message me about the song and be like, "Hey, what's the sample you used after the Hey Apple?" I was like, "What are you talking about? You know the music part, Amazing Grace." Like, "Oh wow, thanks." And for almost 2 years now, I'm going, "What the hell? Who doesn't know Amazing Grace?" But anyway. Alright, so for this section, other than the "Hey Apple" where delays, I use BandLab for all my stuff, so this was like the fourth or fifth breakcore, quote unquote breakcore, jungle break song that I made. I basically just reused one that I made. It's super easy to make, but BandLab decided to shit itself, so now I can't make these kinds of beats the same anymore. Unless I can now, but I haven't checked in a while. But it was just a basic breakcore beat that I made. Now the underlying part that's there is just an A minor uh chord held out that I found, A minor ambiance. I know I love using minors in my music. Um that's basically it. It's played in A minor, all the music is in A minor. And then you can hear the sound that's in there that was just so I could make it sound cooler than it was because it was. And you can hear where it breaks too. You can hear where it sounds really, really bad because it was poorly made. What? Knife. This is so bad. Before the next big break comes. This song is awful. I don't know why I made it. I made it as a joke, and it blew up, and then every other song that I made since then has been the bane of my existence to get streams, except for Vodka Snow Cone, which will be the one after this. I just shout out to Bugman, who constantly references this anytime we hang out. Hey, you ever heard of that guy Köttslig? Yeah, he's got a song called Hey Apple. It's really good. You should listen to it. Thanks, man. There isn't much to talk about on this one. It was just a joke song. The worst part about this is that I put a lot of effort into making this a song. Like I put way more effort than I needed to into trying to make a breakcore jungle beat that didn't even work the way I wanted it to because I couldn't make it go super fast. But oh well, the final product seems to make people happy. And that's all that I care about. Oh, and this is where it plays the thing again. Eventually, it'll fade out, and play the ending. Usually, how music goes. Yeah, but then it just sticks with the A minor, and it plays the sample again. Alright, so that was Hey Apple. Not even close to my favorite or best song that I've ever made. But for right now, we're gonna stick to the lo-fi stuff, and we're gonna talk about some other stuff that I made. So we're gonna switch over to the next one, the second most popular on my Spotify. Alright, so for this one, I had to do it a little differently because for some reason YouTube didn't want to work with me. So this is the song by Snow Cones in the Rain, and the official song has the parentheses Chisatsu. Alright, so we're just gonna start this one right away. And for this album specifically, I used a lot of nature sounds. And this song is the title at least. Music has nothing to do with my title sometimes, although the emotion is still there. This song was dedicated to a time in my freshman year. It was like 4 or 5 years ago now. It's crazy to think about, but yeah, 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. And summer break, I was hanging out with this girl, and we got snow cones with my dad because we were just hanging. It's like, hey, you guys want to go get snow cones with us? Because it was summer, so we got some snow cones. And she brought a bottle of vodka with her. We had made this plan, and I ended up getting lost with it, and it was really funny. That's when I knew I was an alcoholic, and I ate the whole snow cone. So man, I feel weird gassing up my own music, but I just gotta say this. Uh, Memories and all, because that's where a lot of my music comes from is memories and feelings that I've had over time. Feels weird. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. So who knows? Maybe I'll cry on camera, or I'll clickbait it or something. But yeah, this is anyway. In the background, there's actually rain sounds that I wanted, but it was a little too heavy, so I muted it a little bit with some effects. Like I said, that bass is way more powerful in these headphones than they were when I was making it. Then again, the audio doesn't have the same thing in it as the headphones if you're just listening to it through your phone. So, what do I know? before it goes into that, pew, pew, I don't remember if it does it or not, but I know it will. Uh, for the longest time, I've always wanted to make music, and I wanted to make heavy music, but I didn't know how to make heavy music. I knew how to make lo-fi music. Before I figured out all my stuff. If any of you have been paying attention to that, I hope you guys are. You should listen to me. I like making music. Uh, but when I was 10th grade is when I started making music. Ninth grade is when I had the ideas to start making music. 10th grade is when I executed this. But at the time, my friend, who's also a big musician, shout out Oscar, you're awesome. You're pretty cool. I'm jealous of how much more success you have, but you know what? It's all fun. It's all fun and games in the music world. He was making music too, and he was getting all these people listening to his SoundCloud. And I thought, hey, maybe people want to listen to my lo-fi music. They'll check it out. And nobody wanted to listen to it. Nobody was interested in it because it wasn't rap music. Am I going to make rap? Maybe. Am I going to actually record it? Probably not. Or I mean, release it? Probably not. But that's up to you in the comments if you want to hear a rap album. It's gonna be like MF Doom, Boom Bat, lo-fi rap kind of shit. So anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments section below on which music you prefer out of the ones that I'm showing. I'm starting with the more lo-fi stuff before I get to the fun stuff that I made. I will say that if I get a copyright on my own music, I'm gonna laugh really, really hard. Because it's my music. I'm listening to it and talking about it. I also encourage people to tell other reactors to listen to my music. I want it out there. One time I got a porn star to shout out my music, and let me pause for this. I got a porn star one time to shout out my music, and you know what song she picked? Hey Apple. This porn star put Hey Apple on her story. And all I gotta say is that was awesome. It was a moment of history. It's like when I talked to Bill Delphine, that was a moment in history for me. So having a porn star put my music on her story was a moment of history for me. Alright, so that's the end of that one. Uh, yeah, this one has a lot of weight to it in terms of my own mentality towards the situations that I've been in. This one is probably one of the better ones that I've ever had. Yes, it ended in some kind of tragedy, but no one cares about my life enough to ask those kinds of questions. But yeah, that was Vodka Snow Cones in the Rain. Very real, very realistic. So on to the next one. This one's a more has vocals in it that I can talk about. I accidentally hit stop on my recording, but we're back now. This is a song called "I Love You Too" or ILY2 for those who actually know the song or use that type of lingo. Uh, for context on the album cover, this is a chick that I knew for like 2 days on Snapchat. We don't talk to each other in a while. Shout out you. Oh, thanks for letting me use you as my picture. And hella, everyone knows what hella means. But uh, the girl I was talking about from the last song used to say it says it a lot. So I figured that'd be a funny title. Anyway, this one has vocals, and this one I can the music for this one is a drum loop that I found. It's used throughout basically the entire album except for the first two songs and then the two skits that I have. I'm playing the guitar, I'm playing the bass, and I'm doing the vocals. So let's get into it. And actually, right off the bat, I can talk about this. If you notice, the bass part, it kind of slid up and slid back down because I screwed up the bass part, and but I figured it out after that. And also, this is a fun fact. This song is kind of ripped from uh, Everlong. That's the song, Everlong, because of the uh part, this beginning part, because in Everlong it goes and then those chords that come after it. This beginning part is those main chords for the chorus part, and then the vocal part is that, but then I change it up. And it also has the drive far be quiet, drive far away part. There's like the beginning and chorus parts. But you'll hear it when it pops up. Alright, so this album is more particularly about the last girl I was with because it got real bad. Real bad. Uh, but let's see, I gotta remember the lyrics. I wrote down the lyrics and sang the words, but the everything you said, uh, completely incompetent. This part is referring specifically to one time I was driving the car with a girl, and she wanted me to put on a song that she liked, so I put on the song "This Kickstart My Heart." She says her favorite Motley Crue song, and we're driving. She starts screaming and yelling at me about the lion part. She's like, "You need to put on the lyric video. You're supposed to be driving, not reading the lyrics." Yeah, well, it would have helped me know when that part was coming up. No, it wouldn't. You're supposed to look at the road. And then we parked up by the house, and the door kind of scraped the concrete because she had the smallest car possible. She got mad at me for it, started yelling at me. And she's like, "I'm just joking." Okay, whatever you say, lady. So I believe those things that you promised me is specifically about, how people said they don't, the biggest scam I ever fell for was "I love you." That's basically that. That's why I asked you at the end, did you even love me? So now we're gonna get the chorus part, the part that I love the most. Alright, so I found myself in your arms, but I had to go. Uh, God, I wrote these lyrics high out of my mind. Uh, and then I'll ask of you is to always be true, but you couldn't do that. It was just as simple as, I want you to be nice. I want you to not do the terrible things that happened to me before. Does all the terrible things that happened to me before. Says I'm gonna leave, and also moving out. She goes, "Are you moving out? Are you breaking up with me because you're moving out?" No, idiot. So for that, though, you won't stop texting. This chick wouldn't stop texting me for the longest time. She finally blocked me after I unfriended her because she commented on something about how you're just not sure why it ended, and I was like, bitch, you know why it ended. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, never ever sleep with someone while they're on drugs. Not a good idea. Bad idea. Always remember that. Never sleep with me when I'm on drugs. Just not a good idea. Uh, smoking can fix this. I mean, my brain's so fried I can't remember anything anymore, except for the very important little things that happen to me. Ugh, alright, chorus time. You're gone, but I had to go. You never learned me. And all I ask of you is to always be true. But you couldn't do that. Such a simple chorus, but it's so stupid. I love it. Not to gas up my own lyrics, you know. Alright, we're gonna pause it there already just to talk about that. But everything I want is brain dead and stupid. Mind you, I've changed my life around quite a lot since even just September. And the one thing that I wanted was to start going to church a little bit more. And I asked her, hey, you want to go to church with me one of these Sundays? It was like asking her if she would stab herself in the stomach. She got so upset. She was so like, no, I hate church. I don't want to go to church. I'm just going to argue about God's existence. Like, no, just, why can't you do this? If you say you love me, you got to do at least one thing. And, nowhere to go. So one time I actually got kicked out of the house because she was mad at me for voicing my frustrations. So I just walked around for over like 3, 4 hours by myself in the dark in a town I'd never really been in. I ended up at the train tracks. Eventually I found my way home, but yeah, I had nowhere to go. Didn't have anyone to talk to, didn't have anyone to help me, just on my own. Because I'm useless and stupid. Yeah, I know I gotta stop pausing, but this part's actually important. You put the gun in my hand, but I aimed it at you. This is because uh she started there's always a cycle, there's always a pattern. There's always a pattern in horrible, horrible things people do. I've learned these things pretty quick. So instead of just letting it happen, I decided, you know what? I will not take it. I'm standing up for myself. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then that too, whenever you're talking to someone, they start blaming you for things like, here, look, hear me out. This is the things that I'm saying. A lot of the things were mostly her because it was her and her family that moved to this house that I was being invited to for college, and every little thing was always my fault. It was my bad. I'd be apologizing every time I tried to voice those frustrations. Well, you know. Preach. And I made my voice slide with the music, and I think that I like doing that. Man, the bass is so much quieter in this part. And then for this final verse, I just repeated the first verse because it was the same length as the first verse, in terms of the music. That's why you heard one long verse, two short verses, one long verse in the choruses, because I accidentally made those parts too short. Some parts longer, some parts shorter, because that's how long I had the drum part. So I just had to work with it. Cool. I showed this guitar part to my mom because that's the only person I have to share it with because I don't have people who like what I make in my life anymore. And she said that this was probably the best song I've ever made, and I have to agree. This is probably the best song I've ever made. My favorite song. This whole album is one of my bests. I really want people. I'd rather people be listening to "Do You Know Gerald Lambeau" because that's a song that me and my friend came up with, or that he had that I helped him make and played the solo to. It's his song. I give him full credit to that. So please check that one out. And then on to the final song that I would like to discuss. Prepare. Alright, so this last song, uh what was it again? Always Satanas Dominos Mali. So a lot of things have changed since I made this album. Lots of them. This is 2 years ago. Back in November. 2 Novembers ago. 2023. But the album cover was something that I found like Instagram or something. I had my friend do the letters and stuff and send it back to me. And this is how I got into the metal encyclopedia. You can find me if you just look up the name. But during this time, I had moved to a new town, angry, sad, a lot of horrible things going on. So I'll discuss that when we listen to it. But you'll hear it. And for this, I was using a delay effect on BandLab itself. I just played the guitar notes and added the delay later. Oh, you can hear I messed up a note there. Okay, before the drop hits. So this was during a time when I was really, really into playing broken chords, which is just basically going up and down the chord individually, and then sliding back to that half step. Nothing special is really that special about this song because it takes a lot of influence from Dark Throne. A lot of DSPM influence because that's what I wanted. That's what I was trying to make, but I just ended up making really sad black metal. It's not even DSPM at this point because DSPM is a lot slower. That comes to the next one, and the next album that I made. But this one specifically, you can hear that there's a Dark Throne solo in there. I don't know if anyone ever caught on to that. The 32 people that listened to it on here, and the very few people that listened to it at all when it came out on Spotify. But you'll hear it. Just listen. It might be the headphones, but this sounds really, really poorly mixed, which it probably was because I made it poorly mixed. I didn't know what I was doing when I was making this one. And you can hear the vocals that I was really going for. It was my first attempt at making this. But I didn't say any real words in the first few albums that I made that involved vocals, just because I didn't have the writing capability. I mean, I had the writing capabilities, but I was just too sad to write anything down. If I wrote that sad things down, my parents asked me what I was saying. I was gonna have to tell them I didn't say anything anyway. So anyway. You wouldn't believe me, but there is bass in this song. For some reason, the screaming's only in my left ear, but I don't know. I think the only real words that you're gonna get out of this is any kind of Latin that I was saying during the time. During this time, I was in my second edgy phase because I didn't get a chance to be, first wave edgy, so I got second wave edgy, reading Satanic Bible, Satanic rituals, saying things, learning Latin for that reason. Now I learn Latin for my Latin Vulgate that I have, but you know, something about this, it was just an angry time. I was mad at the people around me. I hated my teachers. I hated my wife, family, friends, everything, because I was just tormented with so much stuff. But now, you know, I'm doing way better, kinda. Uh, but yeah, I'll just keep going. Oh god, I was messing up notes so bad there. You can hear a lot of it is just me making consonant sounds, or just holding it out really long just to do something. And I forget which song it is, but the girl that a lot of music that was about, and in the last song that I was talking about, not the one that I drank the snow cones with, but the girl that I had a lot of problems with. One time she said that just that the lead singer for Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, uh, had the best long scream she'd ever heard because it was a raw, powerful scream. Just like, ah, him doing a metal scream kind of thing. And it was like 17 seconds, and I laughed at her and I said, "No way, Blasphemian with the Infinite Annihilator song. Blasphemy has the best scream because he is holding out a deep low guttural for over 20 seconds. He then raises it, no stopping, and he goes from a like So later in other metal songs I have, I think it's in one of the recent ones that I uploaded. I try and hold out a scream as long as I possibly can, just because I fucking hate that bitch. And a lot of the songs that I had were a lot of the same rhythms. Fast, taking power chords and adding that extra note behind them, sliding down half step, sliding back up, do that. Just a lot of that. Or, uh, playing in the F power chord, switching to an E power chord, back to F, back to E kind of thing. Just because that's how black metal is. It's repetitive and simple, but it's also really hard. But we'll finish this out real fast. No, no, we're not getting into that one. That one's a song for another time. But yeah, that was always the Thanos Dominos Mali. That one had a lot of stuff going on with that one. There's a lot of missing notes. There's a lot of notes that were hit, but they just didn't come out clean. It was poorly mixed, poorly made. The stuff I've been working on making is so much better in comparison. That's why I made this one the last song that you hear. But I'm gonna switch back to regular cam, so I will be right back.
Alright, guys, that was my meta reaction to my own music. If you want to hear me talk about other songs that I have, just let me know which ones, and I'll just talk about them. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, good on you for sticking around and listening to the music with me and listening to me ramble about my life and why the music matters to me. But like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, subscribe, and yeah, good on you.